So please open a second. You have the Mishnah Berurah in front of you. Here I got it to show you. We'll see tomorrow after. Okay. Keep it in here. You have to look here. Please open in Siman Taf Ayin Bet. Taf Ayin Bet. 472. Yesterday we saw the Rosh told us that if you didn't lean when you made Kiddush or you ate matzah, you have to repeat. For Sfaradim, there's no way out. For Ashkenazim, there is more leniency. Let's look at the Shulchan Aruch a second. Siman Taf Ayin Bet. Seif Gimel. Taf Ayin Bet, Seif Gimel. כשהוא מעיסה בניבים, לא יתה על גבו, don't go backwards, this is not הסיבה, ולא על פניו, forward, ולא על ימינו, not on your right. There are two reasons why we lean on the left. Even though, let's say, a lefty should lean on the right, but I think it's very uncomfortable to, אלא על שמאלו, so leaning is on the left. Okay, everyone knows more or less. Seif Dalet, look a second. Isha אינה צריכה סיבה. The question really is why? Why not? She's חייב to drink 4 כוסות. So look at the Mishnah Berurah, please. The last line on the page that you're reading. Mishnah Berurah. אינה צריכה סיבה. The stam Isha אין דרכה להסב בשום פעם. What does it mean, stam isha? An ordinary woman, you'll see in a minute why he's saying it, which means that in the time of the Gemara, when the custom was special meals, you have a bed, special bed to every participant, and you're leaning, a woman didn't do it for various reasons. Says Shulchan Aruch, turn the page, אלא אם כן היא אישה חשובה, סימן תע"ב, ג'ק תע"ב, נבדל. So theoretically, if a woman wants to leave, of course she can do it. For practical reasons, it's much more difficult if you're dressed with a dress and you have to run to the kitchen from time to time. So when he says before, אישה אין דרכה להסב, says the Rama, וכל הנשים שלנו נקראות חשובות. Our ladies are considered חשוב, אך לא נהגו להסב, כי סמכו על דברי רעביה. Thank God there was one ראשון by the name of רעביה that says, ובזמן הזה אין צריך להסב. Can you imagine? רעביה is a ראשון. He's
talking about women.
He's talking about men also, but he says that the ladies are relying on him. Look at Mishnah Berurah Yud Gimel. תסתכל על זה מאוד מעניין. Look at Mishnah Berurah. Said you said it last week. Look Mishnah Berurah Yud Gimel. Here you have it. Yud Gimel. Ta'amo. The reason is again he says that neither us nor ladies. Ta'amo the kevan the ein regilut be'artzeinu. בשאר ימות השנה לעשר. Our custom on a regular, real good meal, not in a restaurant where you pay money, but the family is really celebrating, no one is leaning anymore. אלא יושב כדרכו. Now, of course, those who disagree say on the contrary, because it's not a custom, we have to do it because the idea of Leil Pesach is to
Do things differently?
To make it differently and to force ourselves to think what we do.
The man the Amar Zeh, should a woman lean on that? The man the Amar Zeh, a woman should lean.
If she wants.
No, Fad. The logic that tells you we should do it anyway would work for a woman. There's no more.
I don't know, she can do whatever she wants. He's just telling you 500 years ago. How come ladies in Europe are not? If today every lady is considered chashuv, so be'emet she should be chayav. She said the leniency why she's not chayav, she's not taking this, but the leniency she's not chayav. For Ashkenazim, this For Ashkenazim, this Ravya is a lifesaver. Why? Look at second and Siv Zion. Same, Siv Zion. Siv Zion. No, it's not Rabbi. For Sfaradim, for Sfaradim, it's clear. I looked this morning in Chacham Ovadia Sefer, and there's no אף אחד לא אומר לכם שום. זה לא יהיה סיבה. אשכנזים will do it. כל מי שצריך הסיבה, this is our topic yesterday, אם אכל מצה או שתה ולא הסיבה, לא יצא.
So why does he start off Kol Mishat Tzarich? Why?
We said,
You have to
"Look at
eat
Rambam."
matzah. You have to eat the matzah again.
He's saying also you have to drink another
Yeah,
cup.
yeah.
Yes. וצריך לחזור לאכול מצה ולשתות ויין והסיבה. I looked in, Yakut Yosef, I looked in Yabia, and I know, can't get out of this. כתב ככה. Says the Rama, sometimes it pays to be Ashkenazi, says the Rama, ויש אומרים, ובזמן,
Rabbi Prague.
what?
Why does he use? I mean, he leaves it open to the interpretation. He says Kol Mishat Tzarich HaSeiba. Why doesn't he just say Ish Cheresh Shota? Why does he just leave it?
No, but this is because what Sammy mentioned before, because he left a woman, he left open, you realize?
Correct. But why all of a sudden did he leave things open?
No, but
מישהי חשובה,
exactly depends which type of woman, which type of
Okay.
family, which type of all these
That's my
answers.
wife.
Rabbi, just comes back. Rabbi, I said I have trouble with this. Not that you have to, that you don't fulfill matzah at all. That's what I have trouble with.
In a
That
second.
the rabbis, like all
In a
the again, the
second.
power of the
In a
rabbis.
second. ויש אומרים, לרמה, ויש אומרים, ובזמן הזה אין דרך להסב, since our custom all year round is not to live, כדאי הוא רעביה לסמוך עליו, שבדיעבד יצא ולא הסבה. You say? For Ashkenazim, the truth is most Ashkenazim are not relying on it, but you have an old man, you have this, that.
Wait, somebody just stumped for that.
Yeah.
Whatever reason.
Okay, עכשיו, here's the question, Sam.
No, this, according to the Rambam that says it's a separate mitzvah. for
There's
Seba,
no, we said this, according to the Rambam, you don't need the Rafia. According to the Rambam, there's no point of eating it again, drinking it again, because you fulfill the mitzvah matzah.
Right.
Don't worry, in Brisk, they rely
So
on
this
this.
is
This is Bali Rambam, לפי הראש.
This is the Rosh,
Now,
right?
here's the question. You forgot to do a seba by Kiddush. You drink again, there's no way out. There's a boreb gefen again or not? Kiddush, remember.
How long did
Oh,
you
yeah.
Talk in between.
No,
Did
no,
you
no.
have say?
No, but listen carefully to a general rule, okay? Friday night, my wife has 6-course meal.
Kiddush?
I go to the kitchen after Kiddush, or after I said and I see something that I like. This is going to be
You have it
served
in
much
mind?
later. I have to make a bracha now, if I did, yes.
Yeah, you didn't see how much.
Because I didn't, no, even if I did,
Oh, you didn't.
I didn't have this in
Oh, you
mind.
didn't have the bread yet? Oh, you didn't have it in
rule
mind.
is-
the meal. Okay.
Here's a good example. Rabbi Tyler and myself used to be across from each other, okay, across. I was room 429, he was the exact opposite, fine. Every day I used to drink tea. He used to bring me sometimes special tea. So every time he came with the tea, I said to my class, here, you have to say Shakol, yes. You have to say Shakol again. See, if I know for sure, if he brings me every day, so I have in mind regularly.
It's the same we have the second cup in mind, we're making the Kiddush, Rabbi, right? We have the second cup in mind. Does it count if I forgot to say, if I forgot to lean? Is that an option?
Sorry, let's see.
I'm
Yes.
making the Kiddush, I have a second cup in mind.
For Hamotzi, I would say, Al achilat matzah, you have to say again.
Okay, so
but-
listen good. Comes the Magen Avraham, which is a main posek for Ashkenazim. Listen good what he says. And he says, if I, Ashkenazi, forget to say to lean, I drink again to fulfill the mitzvah, I have to say Borei Pei Hagafen again. Why?
But not Kiddush.
תקשיב רגע. Why? No, only that.
Only
למה, he says, because since Ashkenazi make Borei Pei Hagafen 4 times, here's his point, hear this? So I definitely did not have in mind to drink in between because I know that by the second cup, make another bracha. Comes Chacham Ovadia and he says, even though we Sfaradim must drink again, but don't say Borei Pri HaGefen, because your custom is not to make Borei Pri HaGefen again.
Open-ended.
Yes?
Yeah.
Here it is, זה סברה יפה מאוד של חכם עובדיה. So the logic of the Magen Avraham is by Ashkenazim, there are 4 times Borei Pri HaGefen. Each cup is a mitzvah by itself, which means that when I made Kiddush, or I made Borei Pri HaGefen by the end of the second cup, I didn't even mind to drink more. He says you have to make Borei Pri HaGefen again. Sfaradim were not making Borei Pri HaGefen again, we spend time. Why? He says, even if you forgot, you have to make again. Theoretically, here, every year, we start the Seder a little later than you. I have always a cup of water and I drink between the cups. I'm too thirsty. I don't miss alcohol. Why? Because I made under wine. But if I would have to drink wine again, this is totally new for me. I have to make Borei Pri HaGefen again. Says Chacham Ovadia, not for Sfaradim. This is a big and logical understanding of the machloket. Yes.
Yeah, somebody brought to the table a new fancy wine that
Well,
after the
Yeah,
first cup,
exactly.
I mean, you want to taste this new wine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly what you said. Says you have a guest for Shabbat. Guest for Shabbat. He came late. He comes with
Makes
a
a
bottle
special
of
bottle of
wine.
wine,
We didn't know that he's coming with the wine. You have to make Borei Pri HaGefen again.
even though you said that you had money.
See, wine that you have in your cellar, wine that you have in your closet, wine you have at the table, you have to make Borei Pri HaGefen again. Any food, a new food that comes in, you have to. This is for Ashkenazim, drinking the wine again. So remember, there's no out. I mean, yesterday at the wedding, I was asking few people, says, by Sfaradim, you have to drink again. And unless, Sammy, you have the Rambam this year.
And how does that relate to Hamotzi then?
If you want to see how far it goes, look now at the Biur Halacha. As Biur Halacha, lo yatsa. You see, Shulchan Aruch says Agdorosh. Again, remember he's not talking with the meal now. I forgot to lean. I have to drink again. וצריך לחזור ולאכול. נראה, שמע השם מה אומר. No, Sam, on the right, not on the
Right side, about
On
6
the right,
lines
on the
down
right.
on the right side.
page ר' ח' on the right. נראה, ולדעת המחבר, כל עיתו מרן, listen good now. אם גמר כל הסעודה, הוא ברך ברכת המזון. בסדר? Remember, first course, second course, מוציא מצה ברכת המזון, ואחר כך נזכר שלא היה בהסיבה. You did already ברכת המזון. Yes?
And you forgot the Hasiba on what though? The Yai on
Let's read the other half. צריך לחזור ולברך המוציא, ועל אכילת מצה, ועל אכילת מצה. This goes back to Eli's question. Why? Remember yesterday's discussion. Because not leaning is affecting the mitzvah of אכילת מצה. It's not an independent מצה. ככה הוא אומר, ועל אכילת מצה, מה שאין כן, ויש אומרים, which means זה רמה, אינו צריך לחזור ולברך על אכילת מצה. אוקיי, הוא פשוט, אוקיי, נהר just adding, להבדיל לכתחילה, מצווה לאכול 2 זיתים בהסיבה, which we will talk later in the week or next week, כמבואר בסימן תע"א. Normally, I'm sure your kids drove you crazy, you drove your kids or whatever. When you eat a motzi matzah, you have to eat 2 kazayit. The kol makom b'diavad yatzah b'kazayit echad. It means if you didn't make haseba, yes, and you say a motzi again and you eat again,
Just
one is enough.
Suffice. Right.
But you understand logically what he's saying, yes. The meal is over for me, yes. But Shulchan Aruch says to me, you have to eat matzah again. So of course you have to make a motzi again because you never dreamt eating again matzah. But
well, now that you said Birkat Hamazon, so no matter what you thought, that ended it.
this is the point.
Yeah.
And he doesn't tell you to wash again because why should you wash again? You're in the middle. Your hands are clean. She's carefully not to tell you to wash again. I'm just showing you how far this goes.
So, Rabbi, the leaning is from the old time where the kings used to lean, you say. Then you're saying that we're doing it because we want to make it different. that night. So it's a contradiction here.
I was trying to explain Ravya, this
According to that
Rishon,
one guy.
Ravya is a very logical man. He said the whole idea was to show. You should come. I mean, think about it. Anyone that is a real diehard football game is not sitting like me, like this, like a sefer. I sit like this.
Depends if he has a lot of money on the game.
Yes. You're sitting on a couch. This is Aseba, is really the way you watch football.
Yeah.
You're sitting on a couch, relaxing, and you take a beer, and this is really what Aseba is. He says today we're not doing it. I'm explaining what's the opposite logic. The opposite logic is because we never do it, and the idea of the night of Pesach is to feel that I'm different. I mean, I'm forcing myself every time. It's not. I have a very comfortable chair, and I leave. It's uncomfortable for me.
Especially if you're using these thin folding
So when I'm
chairs,
doing
there's
it,
nothing to lean on.
I'm thinking, why am I doing it? Because I'm playing again. I'm sure you went to many plays in Flatbush. Every time we ever play, the stage is what? How does the stage look when you ever play? The way it was 400 years ago, 500 years ago, depends. This
Oh,
is
you mean
what
the set?
the Seder, in the Seder, we are actors.
Yeah.
And the Seder table is a
setting.
stage. Part of the stage is to do exactly what was done. Every part-time you pay $100 for a ticket. You pay for the stage and the actors. Sam used to have special clothes. Egyptians. Still. You have to tell them, no one wants to tell them.
Bring the props to the table also. Props.
Listen to what Sam is doing.
So when they get up to Pesach Masah Maror, I say it quickly, and I go upstairs, and I come down, I undress, I put on a Paror costume.
This Paror costume.
Paror costume, I have a rod, I have sandals like strapped up to my legs, dress.
Surely you're not going to forget that.
Sometimes I wear a mask, and then I bring bugs, locusts, ping pong balls for Barak.
Barak, yeah.
Locusts,
You hear?
Sometimes I put the bugs in the napkin under the thing so they see it like that. And then I say, Jews, I want you to come back to Paro. Moshe is bad. You have to come back.
Sam, you think he's crazy?
Yeah.
His grandchildren will never. His grandchildren will
They'll
never
never forget what they're trying to forget.
So once, many times, 5 or 6 times, I went to a neighbor's house without telling her. One time, the grandmother screaming. She looked in the window. She started to scream. Benny Mizrahi, Jew. Another one.
They moved.
Soli Towel. They moved. Soli Towel. 2-3 months later, his son says, "Grandpa, here's Paro." I'm sure he's seen it.
No, but you understand? This is exactly what Haseba. This is exactly what Haseba is for us.
So there's a jazz song I can't help it says if it don't have the swing, it don't mean a thing.
Right. Now look, go back to Seif Bet, Seif A. Go back to Shulchan Aruch Seif A. Ben Etzel Aviv, Tzarich Haseba. Ben Etzel Aviv, Tzarich Haseba. אפילו, אפילו הוא רבו מובהק. Now you realize there is a contradiction. Why? Because later, look at it. תלמיד לפני רבו אינו צריך הסבה, and we said yesterday, we'll see it in the Rambam, it's אסור לנו to do הסבה. אינו צריך הסבה, אפילו אינו רבו מובהק. Why is it if your father is your Rebbe, you need a Seba? Forget the father.
Rebbe should override father.
No, but the answer is, look at the Mishnah Berurah, זה חשוב מאוד להבין את זה. צריך הסבה, י"ד, משנה ברורה י"ד, ואף להבן חייב בכבודו ובמוראו, the son is חייב, וכל שכן אם הוא רבו, בכל מקום צריך הסבה, is the key word, ומסתמה אב מכיל לבני. Sammy, if your father was alive, you had a business together. 30 years ago, people used to come. In the business, you have to yell at each other. What do? You have to ask your father permission. Be mochel. In the business, you're not my father. Yes? Mechila helps by kibud avaim. Mechila helps by rab also. So when it's children are eating by the parents, even if you're not asking permission from your father, can I live? Most likely he does. Look further now. The Shulchan Aruch says, Talmid etzel rabo eino tzarich. Sounds like he doesn't have to.
Yeah, it sounds like not.
Says Mishnah Berurah Tetvav, Mishum de beresha amar tzarich, a child by a father, nakat acha eino tzarich, aval be'emet isura, nami ika la'aseh befanav, demora rabo kemora shamayim. Unless he has permission. Oh, well, Zalman Auerbach used to say, I'm giving everyone permission.
Yes,
Yes,
the rabbi could do that.
All right, so if they didn't ask permission and they didn't lean, they would be yotzeh.
ככה זה מה שהוא אומר.
It's a pellet.
No.
It's a pellet.
And he says, because I'm not obligated.
Yotzeh on a matzah
unless
d'oraita.
you-
Then otherwise the people are leaning and they're not yotzeh. but he's leaning.
Everyone agreed. We said yesterday, Minat Torah, if no one ever leans, it's Yotzeh Minat Torah.
Okay.
The
oh, then
rabbis
fine.
came and told you, we, the rabbis, are telling you to eat again, but we are the rabbis. We didn't tell Minat Torah, you're not.
Okay.
לא, אבל זה חשוב מאוד.
Okay, yeah, fine. If you say that, it bothers me.
We said
The fact that you're repeating still makes you wonder.
good.
It makes you wonder the whole
I
thing.
didn't bring because you have to schlep ברכות ברבן יהודה. most ברכות ביעזור ברבן יהודה. או במסכת סוכה. It says in מסכת סוכה שם, מי שהיה ראשו ורובו בסוכה. You see in the sukkah, but your table extends outside of the sukkah. According to Beit Shammai, it's not yotzeh. Lama? Because you might forget and eat on the other hand.
Yeah.
So the Mishnah says one of the rabbis did have a long table. And Beit Shammai told him to Shomea, Im ken lo kiyamta mitzvat sukkah miyamecha. Im ken, if this is the way your sukkah looks,
Yeah.
yamecha.
Yeah.
The rabbis are telling me not to do it. So to support, there's a famous to support. You have a sukkah here.
Well, you cannot extend the table to put the ladies there,
No. If the table extends outside of the
Yeah.
sukkah.
and you put it for the
This
ladies.
is Beit Shammai, don't worry. For us, it's good.
Does he have to make Kiddush again?
Well, by us here, no.
No, I'm saying by the Sukkah. I'm saying, but based on what you said, if you do a mitzvah incorrectly, you have to redo it. Would you have to do a Kiddush?
We have once a class, you have 5 cases, but I'll read you anyway to us. But here I'm talking about you here. The Tosafot say, Tosafot are bringing this as a raya. Right here. Tosafot say, looking for one sentence. Okay, here. Rav Amram Gaon is posek like Beit Shammai, they did the sukkah extends outside, you are not yotzeh. Okay, brings another case of tzitzit, and another case in Berachot. But the Safot are saying, maybe we should learn it once inside, but the Safot are saying, כמעשה ברבי יוחנן, ומה הייתה ראיה בהאי? ואמר רבי יוסף, עשה כדברי בית שמאי, לא עשה ולא כלום. נמצאת את הסוכה. ומה הייתה ראיה? סוכה מעשה ברבי יוחנן אחורני, שחלה יוסיק. הלכו זקני בית שמאי, בית הלל לבקרו, אני sat in the sukkah, but the table was outside. אמרו לו זקני בית שמאי, אם כן היית נוהג, לא קיימת מצוות סוכה כל ימיך. It is. So the Safot are saying, Chachamim have the koach to take away the mitzvah from you, yes? So, okay, tomorrow we might spend time. Is it really, I asked you yesterday, you blow shofar on Shabbat. So, you do every mitzvah d'oraita or not? Believe it or not, it's a machlok. Asur to blow, but you did blow. Okay, there is a halachic reason if you live in Yerushalayim, let's say.
Asur to blow, you made a deoraita.
No, but if you read it, if you learn the sugya, it comes out that one beitin agadol mutar. So one of the big people in Yerushalayim, or the Bakim Yosef Schlesinger says, Yerushalayim, this is 180 years ago. Said, אין לנו שום מקום שיש כל כך הרבה גדולים, זה ירושלים בעולם. Went to a basement, had a minyan, תקע בשבת, בברכות.
Is he so the right or the Rabbanan flow on
No,
Shabbat?
it's the Rabbanan for sure.
Oh, that's what I thought.
What's the Rabbanan? No, but this is
Somebody put on tefillin on Shabbat.
no, everyone agrees with that. This is שום
Oh,
דבר,
Yom Tov.
שום דבר. Because this is the oraita.
No chiyuv
ושמעת
deoraita.
את החוקה
Look
הזאת,
at your one
המועדה,
opinion that holds you put on Shabbat, tefillin on
אבל זה
Shabbat.
מחלוקת תנאים, ההלכה היא, זה גאונה. Look further at the Shulchan Aruch. This is also very important. Look at, okay, that's סעיף ח', yes? צריך לשתות 4 כוסות על הסדר. אם שטען זה אחר זה שלא כסדר לא יצא. Let's say a fellow is sick. He doesn't have time to do the Haggadah. He says, let me just do the... There's no new mitzvah to drink 4 cups. The mitzvah is each cup represents. So even if you say 2 sentences from the Haggadah, it's fine. But, okay, it's a Gemara. Okay. Shiur HaKos, this is semi, this is to be Shiur HaKos Revi'it. The cup that you use for Kiddush, assuming it's not an ounce and a half, לאחר שימזגן, in the time of the Gemara, the wine was a strong wine, so used to mix it with water. Today, most of the wines are already mixed. וישתה כולו או רובו. וישתה כולו או רובו. Every time I learn it with students, Rabbi, to drink the entire cup. These kids drink 16 ounces of soda, 16 ounces in one go. Rabbi, to drink 3 ounces, this is it, 2.8, whatever, yes? Kulo, the
Get the right cup.
all the, I mean, remember psychologically, yes? I mean, I went once to a Sheva Barachot, so actually wealthy family. The food there was, and the man next to me was knocking in thousands of calories, not hundreds. He comes to the tea, says, make sure.
No sugar.
No sugar. He ate sugar already for the next month. The answer is psychologically, you see sugar. It's 3 ounces, and this is the mitzvah. Look at this.
So Rabbi, you don't have a Agadah and you don't know it by heart. How do you do Pesach with the forecast and matzah? If you have just that.
The answer is that the man, one man in the table, he's
No, we don't have the book, and we are in Russia. Nobody has the book, and you know that it's
They
Pesach.
said that they would speak verbally about the story of Mitzrayim would be fine. I mean, Chachamim wrote the text, but every one of it.
No, you say that the cup,
No,
you have to read it according to the
No,
story.
yes, okay, so you make it do
Tell the story.
Right, but you have to say Pesach
my
Matzah Maror, right? You have to-
my daughter's grandfather. This is remember, this is the story in the family, but you cannot fabricate the story. Like this. My son got engaged to her, he was not alive. This is what every year in the Pesach he used to tell his family. He says, we sat in Auschwitz, 10 people on the floor. We had nothing at all. Is it the Haggadah we know by heart? So they recited whatever, water, Kiddush, and they start to talk about the story of the This is Hungarian Jews, they know it. He says, we came to Motzi Matzah. He says, a man walks into the room. This is 4,000 people, 10, 15 are on the floor, and they gave each one of us a piece of matzah. Now, you can say that someone from another bunk where the man had a beard. He says, no one in the camp has beards. The Nazis made sure.
Where'd he come from?
He said the minute, okay, he gave it to us. He says, I ran out to see him. I went out. But it's not, he was not hallucinating. I mean, this is every, it's not a simple story. Yes, it's a story. If you read carefully.
There's a 9/11 story about that, something like that. There were men meeting, they would come out to the exchange every day. They prayed before 9 o'clock before the thing. And they only had 9 people that day because there was a tragedy they went to see. And some bearded man comes in and says, I have you, I need it. And he was taking too long and they're going to miss the opening of the commodity exchange. And just when the planes hit at 9 o'clock, the prayers extended. They didn't even get to the exchange. They would have been in the plane tower. They went to look for him, they couldn't find him.
Wow.
Who brought that man?
Me and my wife had a guest Friday night, a couple from Farakule. For Friday night only. The guy says to me, he's a sofer. Sofer is a scribe. So I told him, all the sofrim have sometimes, spooky type of stories. And he says to me, every time I checked tefillin, I call the customer and I say, listen, if you're looking for kosher, it's kosher. But come to my office and I'll show you, maybe you better off. Which means he's giving him the choice. If you want, just pick it up. And he says, now I'm telling you, realize, he says, the day before 9/11, I called the guy and I told him, come and see. And we made up to meet at 6 in the evening. 6 he calls me up and I came. So he comes at 10. And I showed him, he left my house at 11:30. So the next morning he calls me up, this tefillin saved my life. I never went to sleep at 11:30. I missed.
Woke up late.
I woke up late. Take it any way you want.
We have a story, Eddie Shalom.
Eddie Shalom.
Eddie Shalom was tired that morning, took the local so he get a seat. He got to the office after 9 o'clock. He pushed the button to go upstairs. The plane he got out of there. Otherwise, he'd take the express. He would have been upstairs.
It's Eddie.
He's working the one in the Twin Towers.
No, the reason I'm saying it is guys, remember, guys, it's only okay, my cup is Be'emet Gadol, 6.5 ounces. This is the gift I got. It's a very nice silver cup.
Of course.
Right. Of course. If Ravi'it Machmir is 4.5 ounces. I try not to drink some Kiddush, I finish, but the rest, but to drink 3 ounces, ואם יש בו הרבה רביעיות, שותים ממנו כל כך בני אדם, יידישם, אף אחד לא יודע את זה. מה זה? Here. We have here, Joseph's case. We have only 1 cup. Only 1 cup. I have kosher Eliyahu. The kosher Eliyahu was 15 ounces. Big silver cup. Shulchan Aruch says, I can make Kiddush on it. I drink 3 ounces. Sammy drinks, you drink, 5 people can drink from my cup. It is what he said. אם יש בו הרבה רביעיות, remember, we cannot even imagine something like this. Well, what is a cup to do? כמניין רביעיות שבו, ויש אומרים שצריך לשתות רוב הכוס, אפילו מחזיק כמה רביעיות. אוקיי, fine. נהיר, סעיף י' מי שאינו שותה יין, מפני שמזיקו, it's not good for you. Also, no, you hate wine. צריך לדחוק עצמו ולשתות, לקיים מצוות 4 כוסות. If you cannot, okay, so as you know, today many people are brilliant, you can have grape juice, but לכתחילה, have wine. Even if you don't like this wine or that wine, but there is a wine that you like.
Grape juice is leniency?
חכם עובדיה says, קורא לזה leniency, כך קורא לזה. כי באמת, לא תכיר. If you look at the Rambam, which we're not doing today, but tomorrow, when the Rambam is talking that you have to show derech cherut, he mentions wine. The reason why Chachamim established, we know that Kiddush, Birkat Hamazon, but when do you drink wine? You go out to celebrate something, you drink wine. So the wine, so the drinking, the wine.
Grapefruit should not be allowed.
מי שמבין מה זה דרך חירות, this is the דרך חירות.
But I'm not
His
used
wife
to
won't-
drink wine.
we don't
If I
drink
get the
with
same
wine.
cup, I have a headache.
This is the point. People that really have difficulty drink that. I tell my wife always, drink that. But if you understand the idea, because the Rambam clearly, well, after he says Chayav la'avod derech חירות, says lean and everyone should drink wine. So
you also have to have the samachta b'chagecha also.
So Joseph says he has a headache, so don't drink. Sometimes you can also. So Zaman Auerbach used to mix the grapes and wine. It was difficult for him to drink. He says,
How come he doesn't say yain adom?
oh, next. Mitzvah lachzor. Achar yain adom. This is not a simple language. Mitzvah lachzor. If you're already using wine, use red. As you know by Ashkenazim, it's not so much because of the blood libel and all these stories.
Oh.
But this is the reason why Ashkenazim did not drink red wine.
Wow.
Because Ashkenazim לא היו שותים ביום.
Because it looks greatest to the story.
Look Mishnah Berurah. Mishnah Berurah says, יין אדום בכתיב, אל תראה יין כי אדם. Halma ha'admimut, the color is part of the importance.
Yeah.
If you go to the winery and you have a good winery next to you, you will see that the bottles 30, 40, 50, 90% of them are red wines, yes? ועוד, זכר לאדם שהיה פרעה שוחט בני ישראל. יש את זה, ובמקומות שמצויים הגויים להעליל עלילות שקרים, this was in Europe, you imagine? נמנעים ולקח יין אדום. פרופסור יפה אליח עליה שלום told me, she told me that she made sure that when his son Yotam, remember Yotam, son?
Yeah.
They lived at Avenue. She made sure that he plays with Italian kids, and every time she told them, bring him home, she was giving them cookies, this. Says on Pesach, the Italian kid that came every day says to him, Dr. Eliach, today you're giving me the milk in a glass. And, you know that you're using the glass, yes? Just want to make sure. She says to him, where did you get it?
They carry that.
This is in the 70s in Brooklyn, New York. Not everywhere, in school. He went to the school at 60 years in Bay Park, you know, used to be a teacher.
Yeah.
You know, Professor Eliach, she went to the school, she wants to meet the dean. I want to walk from class to class. From class to class, talk that we don't. And she says, every egg before we use, we crack to check. Anyway, he says, if it helped or not, I don't know.
Nah, it's not gonna help.
What?
No.
I'm stupid. How stupid? No. Talking about intelligent people who go to college. I'm not talking about peasants in
farmers.
You know, and farmers. Farmers, you understand? One of the first ladies who came out of Kiev in the 60s wrote a book. She says that the matzah bakery in Kiev was in her parents' house. And she says she had a good Russian friend, Goya, but then I remember it because of the story, Irishka. Because one time, as we begged, we forgot to send her home.
Oh.
Then my mother realized, she comes, she tells it to her parents, we fired. Anyway, my mother says to Irishka, listen, our life is in your hands. You see, you know, we're Jews, we are baking there. That's all. And she took her. Here, we mixed this. At the end, she cracked some eggs to make egg matzah. Irichka comes on Pesach to visit, and she said to her, let me give you taste one of the crackers we baked.
Yeah.
She told her, I took you from A to Z.
Whole process.
She said, I know, I'm sure.
Snuck the blood out.
No, she says he never understood. Remember, she
Deep
she took him in the beginning. She said, I showed you that I cracked every egg at the end of the baking to make some egg matzah to find the. This is No, but the church, we know it also. The secret is whatever you tell kids at a young age,
Sticks.
sticks forever. This is, I mean, no, she said she was, well, Rafaela was, she was graduated to dean. I am professor right after Brooklyn College. I have to.
We have it today in politics. Sam undertook a campaign to go to all the registered Republicans in the area, to say switch to Democrats so you could go to the primary. How many people you approached? Maybe 1,000 people, 800 people? Not one.
Wow,
Not one change.
Wow,
All right, guilty.
Not one change.
My wife switched.
You can't, now you have no choice